Hi, this is Blue Phoenix, aka Eric. It's a little bit chilly here in Kentucky this morning, but the topic of this video is going to be being single is not the same as being lonely. This is very relevant for those of us who are aromantic, those who we just don't experience romantic attraction. So the chances of us getting married someday are very slim, I would say. But this is also relevant to anybody out there who just wants to be perpetually single. They've declared themselves such. And really, this is more about your friends and family, or just anybody telling you that, well, if you stay single, you're going to be lonely. Or worse yet, more morbidly, if you're single, you're going to die lonely, which is just a terrible thing to say anyway. It's kind of rude because if you are battling with loneliness and depression in your life, and somebody says this, it's really just another trigger, and they're just feeding that fire of, yeah, okay, you're right, I am going to be depressed and lonely because I don't have a relationship. So it's kind of a rude thing to say if it is true. If it's not true, then it's really just them saying something rude like, yeah, I know that for a fact you're going to be lonely in your life. Like, that's just not a nice thing to say. So if someone says this to you, you really have the right to be rude back because it's just, this is not a nice thing for anyone to say, really. So there could be two different kinds of people telling you this. It could just be a random stranger that maybe you've told them they're trying to hit on you and you just told them you're not interested. And um, maybe you're saying, "Yeah, I'm not interested in dating anybody." And those kinds of people, they're probably just trying to convince you that, yeah, you're going to be lonely, so you should date me instead, which is a terrible argument. Terrible argument. So for those kinds of random people, you really don't owe them an explanation. And if they tell you you're going to be lonely, you can just give them the middle finger and just walk away, whatever, get away from them. But if it's somebody who really cares about you and they care about your feelings, um, they might actually genuinely want you to be happy, and they're actually worried that you're going to be lonely. So they're warning you. They're like, oh, well, if you don't do this, you're going to be lonely, and I don't want you to be lonely. So you've got to convince these kinds of people that being single is not the same as being lonely, and that you can be perfectly happy. So maybe you already are very happy with your life, and you don't feel lonely. Maybe you've got a close network of friends that you've been able to grow a deeper bond with. Maybe you've had more friends because people who are in a romantic relationship or married, they may not have as much time for creating these friendships as you do. So that's one thing. Uh, there's also no guarantee that getting married will mean you won't be lonely. A lot of couples, they get together and maybe they're fine at first, but over time they start to kind of grow apart and they're not as close anymore, and they actually start to feel lonely even though they're in this marriage. Or worse yet, it could be an abusive relationship and the victim is kind of trapped and they don't really have anybody they can turn to. That can be a very isolating thing for them. A lot of couples get divorced. Okay, so if you go off and get married, that's no guarantee that you're going to stay married, or maybe the spouse dies. So again, there's no guarantee. I mean, if you want to be sure you're not lonely, making sure you always have some friends, make new friends all the time, and that'll never be a problem for you. So if you're kind of a shy person and you have trouble making friends, I can suggest like try to find a hobby, find a group that gets together and does that hobby, like a book club or sewing club, or maybe a game like Magic the Gathering or something. Find a local group to get involved in, and even if you're shy or introverted, just show up, and you're not going to necessarily be the center of attention. People will be interested in you because you're new, um, but you really have nothing to lose by going to one of these groups. There's also meetup.com. It can be a way to find people with similar interests in you as you. So these are all good ways to make friends and make sure that you're not lonely, and that that you do enjoy being single. For me personally, I have I'm perpetually single. I'm aromantic, I consider myself, and I have lots of friends. I have family. I have a lot of great things going for me in my life, and I don't feel lonely. I live in my house alone, but I don't feel lonely at all. So I kind of enjoy the solitude quite a bit sometimes. But I also like getting together with friends and spend 2 or 3 nights a week with my friends. So, and then I go to work and I have all the people there I interact with. So I'm not lonely at all. So you don't have to be either. And if people try to convince you otherwise, then you got a little bit of ammunition now to say, you know what, you're just wrong. And really saying that thing in the first place just isn't a nice thing to say. Anyway, I'll catch you next time. I cut my hair a little bit short, so I'm going to have to let this grow out for the next video. I got 2 weeks. So I'll see you then. Bye.